Morning to you, sir.
So you've managed a record 6 WWE World Champions, The Big Show, Kurt Angle, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns now, but you've been involved in wrestling since 14 years old, I read?
That's correct. I was a photographer for Vince McMahon's father, actually, at Madison Square Garden. Learned the business from the inside from day one.
So you started as a fan, and how does a 14-year-old get to the inside, even to become a photographer?
With a great line of BS. Found out where the offices were and started placing phone calls and hustled my way in.
I love it. This Friday night, SmackDown is going to be broadcast live from the DCU Center on Fox, and you're going to be representing the tag team champions, Usos. But for those who have never attended a live WWE television event, it is just spectacular.
I don't disagree with you. It's the greatest spectacle in sports entertainment. It's action from the best athletes on the face of the planet, with the most compelling storylines that you're going to find on television, and there's not a dull moment. And it's headed by the single biggest star in the entire industry today, Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, the WWE and Universal Heavyweight Champion, who just smashed Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania to unify the championships. So you have the biggest stars, you have the biggest spectacular, you have the wildest storylines. It all comes together on live television where, as you know, everything can go wrong.
When you're standing in the middle of the ring with a microphone, forget about the fact that there's 20,000 people in the arena, but you're broadcasting live to millions on Fox. What has gone wrong? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when it comes to, oh my God, this made me sweat?
Nothing makes me sweat, because even if it's wrong, it's great television. In fact, the wronger it is, if that's actually a word, the better it is, because it's like people walking down the street shooting street fights, going World Star. People watch NASCAR for the car wrecks, not for the winners. You come for the live bloopers as much as you come for the great athleticism or the wild storylines or the insane promos or the fan interaction. You come to see stuff go wrong, and stuff does go wrong on live television, and it's nothing wrong with that. I don't sweat that at all. In fact, there are things that if I do wrong may get bigger headlines than if I do them right. So sometimes I might intentionally flub just so that I can grab a headline or two.
There was one time I saw you have the microphone and Brock Lesnar is standing next to you and you're doing your thing and you're going off, and next thing you know, you hear a chant that you didn't expect, and it's like, what the hell are they saying? Are they saying she said yes? Somebody proposed in the crowd in the middle of your going at it. You handled it beautifully. You didn't expect that.
Just because some guy was stupid enough to propose to someone ever, let alone during one of my promos. He needed to be straightened out, and the world needed to understand just the validity of that proposal. And I decided in my own unique New York fashion to point it out.
WWE SmackDown, Worcester's DCU Center this Friday night, talking to the legendary Paul Heyman. And I got to be honest, I hate to name drop here, but I will, because it was such a thrill to have interviewed Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Jimmy Snuka. Now, these are the three of the biggest names in wrestling when I watched as a kid. And now a lot of the big names are the children of wrestlers that I watched growing up. I'm feeling old here, man.
Perhaps you are old. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of age on anybody. It just means you're seasoned, you've survived, you've outlasted the competition, you're still around, and people have lost money betting against you.
Well, ain't that the truth? In terms of how wrestling has evolved since you got in as a 14-year-old, then through your 20s, your 30s, you're in your 50s now, how have you enjoyed the ride along the way?
I've loved every moment of the ride, especially into the fact that the major star, the number one attraction, the centerpiece of the entire business is Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, the unified heavyweight champion, and his special counsel, Paul Heyman. So when you're the commerce facilitators behind $1 billion a year enterprise, I'd say the business has grown exponentially, and I've enjoyed the ride.
and I hope you take this as the compliment that it's intended to be, but Paul Heyman, your energy and the hilarious things that come out of your mouth when the microphone is in your hand in the middle of the ring, the perfect combination, in my humble opinion, of Bobby the Brain Heenan, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and The Rock. Three of the best to ever perform. Do you find that these guys inspired you? And if not, who did inspire you?
I inspire myself every day. I'm the inspiration around here. I'm the motivation for people to come and knock me off my perch. These people that you mentioned were great contributors to the industry, but I've blown them all away.
He is always on. I love it. Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte Flair, is on the card this Friday for SmackDown. Roman Reigns, your man, is going to be there. Who else is scheduled for the DCU Center this Friday night live on Fox?
If it's not enough for you to see the biggest star in the industry, Roman Reigns, if it's not enough for you to see the longest reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions of all time, the Usos, then I'm not going to spend my time sitting here running down all the other members of the roster, because if that's not enough for you to buy a ticket, you shouldn't come anyway. As a matter of fact, if that's not enough for you to buy a ticket, I'm asking you to stay home.
How dare I bring up other people when I'm talking to Paul Heyman? Talk about Paul Heyman's people.
That's my attitude, yes.
Tickets are still available, DCUcenter.com or the box office, to see Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, the Usos, and whoever the hell else dare to show up this Friday night in Worcester. And Paul, it's been a pleasure for you, I'm sure, and for me as well.
Indeed, sir.